Hello boys and girls. Today's lesson is going to be about 3D shapes. These are a little different than the shapes we talked about on Monday. So Monday we talked about 2D shapes or flat shapes, right? And just to give you those examples again, we had a circle, we had a square, we had a rectangle, and we had a triangle, and then we had the hexagon. All right? And remember, we can't pick these up. These are flat shapes. These are 2D. These are 2D or flat shapes. Okay? Now, that was on Monday. So, today's shapes are going to be 3D. Before we talked about 2D, and 2D meant that it had length and width. Oops. Well, now they have length, width, and height. So you can see that these stand up off of the page, and these shapes are called 3D solids. So we had 2D or flat shapes, and now we have 3D or solids. Let's remember this. Solids. So, does anybody know what this one is called? Right here? Take a look. Good close look. Did you notice that it's got squares on all of its sides? Well, that makes this, if you said it was a box, you're very close. It's called a cube. So I'm going to put cube over here. A cube. Oh, I think Mr. Stevens wrote a D by mistake. Yep, he did. He's going to change that to a B. Cube. A cube has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. The 6 sides are all made of squares. So those 6 sides are all made of squares, which means that this cube is always going to be the same length on all of its sides and all of its edges. That there's our cube. That's a 3D shape. It's a solid. Here we have another one. What would you call this? Does anybody know what this shape is called? This one is called a cylinder. I'm going to write cylinder on the paper. C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R. This one is a cylinder. It's got 2 circles on either side, and then it's got a round shaft. This is called a cylinder. It's flat on the circles, on the edges, but it's only got 2 flat edges, 2 flat sides that are made of circles. The rest is all a round shaft. Okay? So that's called a cylinder. What do you think this one is called? It doesn't really bounce well, but it rolls, and it'd be pretty good for playing baseball. It's not a ball, though. Do you know what this is called? A sphere. Can you say that with me? Sphere. It's called a sphere. Sphere. I'm going to write that one on here. It's going to be hard to keep this one in place. It is a sphere. S-P-H-E-R-E. We have our sphere. you'll notice that it doesn't have any flat sides. It's round all the way around and it's perfectly circular. So if this was stretched out, it would be more like an oval, like an egg shape. But this one is perfectly round. Say that with me. A sphere is perfectly round. Great. A sphere is perfectly round. Then we have this one. You put ice cream in it sometimes. Do you know what it's called? I think you do. I think some of you already said it's a cone. This is a cone. So I'm going to write cone over here. Cone. C-O-N-E. Cone. All right? That covers all of our 3D or solid shapes. You'll notice we have more over here, and you might have some more at home. I want you to now go around the house and see if you can find some cylinders, some cubes, some cones, some spheres, and I want you to try and make the tallest structure you can. Now, Mr. Stevens has already thought this through, and he's got a lot of different shapes all stored up. So I'm going to give this 1 second for you to take another good look at. We had our 3D cylinder, which is a solid shape. You can pick it up. Our 3D sphere, again, a solid shape you can pick up. Our 3D cone, again, a solid shape that you can pick up. And our 3D cube. All right, now it's Mr. Stevens' turn. He's going to build. Let's see what Mr. Stevens can do. I'm going to make a nice, big, tall structure. As tall as I can make it. First, I've got 2 cylinders. Then I'm putting on some rectangular prisms. What else do I have here? Oh, you know what? I've got these cubes. I'll use these cubes, and then after I use the cubes, I can use... Oh, well, there's some bigger cubes. Let's use those. Here's some another rectangular prism, and then, oh, a big cube, and then a small cube, and then another cube, and then another rectangular prism, and oh, this other rectangular prism, and another rectangular prism, and a big cube. Uh-oh, it's starting to get wobbly again. Let me put a big piece up there. Oh! It fell.